All right. So I feel like a lot of people be getting it twisted up here about all this political shit, talking about like LGBT and genders and all that. And I feel like it's some very simple stuff. A lot of people just ain't understanding. They probably ain't understand on purpose though. So let me just break it down for you. So firstly is biological sex. There's like the people say there's two biological sexes, but it's all like but it's all the spectrum too, like biologically, because it's nothing but molecules and nothing but genes and stuff like that. So you could have someone who's like in between male and female biologically. That's like no, that's like not a big deal. It happens all the time. Those people then called intersex people. They face like a lot of fucking like bullying and like medical like rape and whatever. You could look that shit up. It's all real. I know them motherfuckers. And second is like people's like when they fit outside the box of what their like assigned sex is, and they want to be called a different sex or they want to act like a different sex. That's like all like cool. They just transgender, you know. So like you can have a person who's born male wants to be a woman. They're a trans woman, and that's just kind of it. They can go through like them surgeries, and they go through transition like medical, and they can do social transition and all that. Same thing other way around. Like, you know, a lot of people tend to ignore people who were born female in these conversations, you know, that the trans women are like the most dangerous people out there, and that the trans men are like the not dangerous people. But you know, it's all just people trying to live lives and shit like that, you know. And then you can have non-binary genders, so people can be like, they can identify with both genders. They can identify with one gender to a different extent than another. They could be a demi girl, they could be a demi boy, they could be like they could be no gender, well, at all. They could be agender, be any gender they want, but it all exists on a continuum between male and female. There ain't no like cat gender, there ain't no like worm gender. It's just all on a continuum. It's a gender spectrum, and that's why they call it the gender spectrum. And it's all in relation to like how societal like views on how we're supposed to treat different sexes and how the sexes are supposed to act, which people have like a rigid enforcing stereotypes on, and that's called patriarchy. And that shit's really bad for us. And like, you know, it's best if we can all just get along as people and we don't have to deal with this bullshit. Like, a lot of y'all just like reactionaries and reacting and shit, and that's just not cool, man. You're just hating on people for no reason at that point. Big L. Sorry.